delicious chicken, disgusting racism. Also disgusting. You closed on Sundays. Amen. We don't like gay people. Don't get married. Eat this chicken, which will give you. Do you like Chick-fil-A?
It pains me to go there, but there's one conveniently located close by my house, and I eat spicy chicken every once in a while.
See, here's the thing about Chick-fil-A. Like, for a while, I got, as much Chick-fil-A as I could shake a stick at. It was, part of this deal I got where they just fed me for a year. It was, one Chick-fil-A meal a day for a year. And I was no matter how good something is, you eat it once a day for a year, you will not be interested in it. You eat it once a day for a couple of weeks, you won't be interested in it. And I was trying to reconcile this whole sort of moral conundrum of Chick-fil-A. I was trying to reconcile the whole moral conundrum of Chick-fil-A versus eating their food, and I was just like, well, technically I'm eating this free, so I'm sort of taking money out of the pocket of a hateful organization. That makes sense, right? Yeah, that hangs together. Do I get a moral pass on that one?
That works.
Okay, good. Continue. What else is going on?
Well, shocking news hit Los Angeles yesterday. There was a little bit of rain.
Yeah, good news, California. If the rain continues like that for the next 1,200 straight years, the drought will be over. You could tell the roads in L.A. are slippery all morning long. Priuses sliding off the road into vegan, free trade organic cafes. Oh my God! Yeah, what always amazes me, flash flooding is kind of a normal thing in a lot of places where I've lived, spent years and years of my life in Houston, where it just rains like crazy and then stops. But a couple feet of rain in about 20 seconds, it feels like. And you'd think that, given the weather conditions out there, they would be they would have come up with roads that drained a little better than they do, but they don't. But it never fails to amaze me. You'll see sort of a stalled out Ford F-150 monster truck type of situation in the middle of the road with white horses lapping against the rear view mirrors. It's so deep in the water. And then there's this plucky little dude in a Kia going I think I know where the shallow part is, and going for it. It's no, you don't know where the shallow part is. You're gonna end up I actually saw a car bobbing up and down in the water a little while ago after this guy was I can get through it. No, you can't. You just gotta wait it out. I don't care if your wife's giving birth. I don't care if you're late for work. It's not gonna happen. You get that a lot in Los Angeles, right? When it does actually flood, people have no idea what to do.
Not really. It doesn't flood here. It's just pipes burst. And when I moved to Vegas, I had my first torrential downpour, and it scared the crap out of me. But no,
really?
It never really. Not since El Nino in the 90s, since it's flooded really bad.
I don't know. I think life without torrential rainstorms is a little bit dull and boring. I miss stuff like that. What else?
New York is now 350 years old.
That explains the smell. Continue.
President Obama's approval rating is down to 39%.
I wonder, what the lowest presidential approval rating has ever been. I got to imagine Nixon or someone that was impeached or something like that. But yeah, he's down to 39%. So concerned by the news, he almost looked up from his putt on the fifth hole.
You're longing for that shining sun. You walk these streets most every day.
Go ahead, favorite the show and enjoy AD on the go. iHeartRadio presents AD.
Yes, I've been presented. Isn't presenting in the animal kingdom, when a female sort of sticks her butt up in the air and goes I'm ready? I'm not so sure I want iHeartRadio presenting me in that way. A little uncomfortable with that. A little bit. Been following the Ray Rice situation. There's really no getting around it. There's this new video. You're probably going to want to watch it. because that's what we do as a species. We're voyeuristic. We like to see horrible things happen so we can go like, oh, God, that was horrible. Did you see? And we make ourselves uncomfortable. So you're probably going to want to watch the video, but I would advise you not to. Just know this, Ray Rice is awful, just awful. But there's this new video of Ray punching his wife. Oh, his soon-to-be wife. She was his fiancée at the time. Punching his wife in an elevator in Atlantic City earlier this year. So the Baltimore Ravens have terminated his contract and the NFL suspended him indefinitely. Now, the first video came out back in February, and it showed him dragging his then fiancée, Janae Palmer, out of the elevator unconscious, dragging her. But the new videos from inside the elevator, that leaked online, and it's straight up violent. At the beginning of the new video, it looks like Rice spits on her, then she slaps him, then he follows her into the elevator and throws a punch at her. She comes in after him, and then he pounds her with a punch to the head. This is a football player. He's a big dude. And he sends her flying against the side of the elevator. Her head slams into a railing, and she falls to the ground, out cold. What's even more disappointing and disturbing about the video is that he seems completely unfazed. Completely like, whatever, that Janae's on the ground. He stands over her, and when the doors open, he picks her up and he drags her out while she's still unconscious. Then he drops her to the ground with her legs still in the path of the doors and tries to wake her up because he knocked her out cold while a hotel employee comes over. Eventually, she wakes up. There's no sound on the video, so it's kind of unclear what was said during the altercation or after she woke up. But when the initial video came out, the NFL suspended Rice for a whopping 2 games. Widely criticized for being too soft. Commissioner later admitted he didn't get it right. Earlier this year, Ray apologized, called the incident the biggest mistake of his life. Janae forgave him. They got married in March, just 1 month after the attack. For what it's worth, some people are saying the NFL saw this footage before suspending Ray for 2 games, but the NFL claims this is the first they've seen of it. Rice had 3 years and $10 million remaining on his 5-year deal, which he's not going to receive anymore. Yeah. I caution you against watching this. If you haven't seen it already, there's a chance that you're running to the interwebs right now. But it's the slow motion shot of her head hitting the railing. It's particularly disturbing. I'm so freaking disappointed in the NFL. So upset about their conduct. It's just like Chris Brown. You have this guy, this vicious, woman-beating piece of human garbage that should be in jail, being subjected to being the catcher in a game of prison sex baseball on a regular basis. Because he's a woman-beating piece of human garbage. But his record label's making entirely too much money off of him. And really, that's what it comes down to. The worship of the almighty dollar. What's good for our interests? You know, forget values, forget any sense of moral fiber, forget being a decent human being, forget doing what's right. We're making an ass ton of money off. You already made an ass ton of money off him. Cut your losses. Get rid of Chris Brown. That guy doesn't deserve to be walking the streets, winning Grammys, getting money, getting accolades. He deserves, like I said, to be in prison on a daily basis playing catcher in an extremely rough game of prison sex baseball. But it was disgusting to watch how they cranked up the PR machine into overdrive and went, we must save the almighty dollar. I know he's morally repugnant, and basically we guarantee ourselves a lifetime in hell with Satan spit roasting us for eternity by doing this, but I've got some rather large house payments to make as the guy that runs this record label, so therefore I'm going to I'm going to help this guy have a career because I've got a lot of money invested in him. Same deal with the Ray Rice situation. An organization as powerful as the NFL that does their own internal investigations, I think they knew. I think they knew what happened in that elevator. And I would almost categorically guarantee that they'd seen that footage months ago. And I think the NFL, who, let's all remind ourselves, doesn't pay taxes. They're a tax-exempt nonprofit. Sure they are. Let's remind ourselves that the NFL have their own internal investigations, a very powerful organization, and they could have laid their hands on any footage they wanted to. They were hoping, they were praying, they were on their knees praying that this footage released to the public never would have surfaced. That 2-game suspension given to Rice, yeah, that's an insult to any abused, battered person out there, especially a woman. It's an insult. It cheapens the horrors that they've been through. I think that's it. I think that's about it. The shame I would heap on the NFL in this situation, well, there's not a dump truck big enough to do it. Let's talk about spirituality, shall we, for a moment? Maybe a little bit more racism in basketball. Ooh, what about the fact that ISIS is recruiting in Minneapolis? We'll get into all that shortly. At ADSXE is where you can find me on Twitter. At FunkFM is where you can tweet super producer to the stars, Barry Funkhouser.
With puppies in my face and dad gotta join the human race. Time for a yawn and a stretch and a walk, you see. They know my order at the restaurant across the street. That's wrong.
Delivering fascinating subjects, interesting talk, and boobs and fart jokes. AD on iHeartRadio.
Yeah, oh, let's go. Talking that mess, better act like you know. Oh, let's go tonight. Walk away, punk, yeah, bitch. That's right, I know this. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. You're nothing but a punk, bitch. So walk away, yeah, yeah. You've been talking about.
Thank you to Jacob for the birthday wishes. He tweeted me saying happy birthday. And may all your farts smell like cake. I like to think they do anyway. So, a Somali American leader in Minnesota says that someone is actively recruiting there for ISIS. This is after a 19-year-old girl vanished from Minneapolis and wound up in Syria. Leaders in Minnesota's Somali community say they know of at least 2 other young women who have also left, and they believe at least 15 Minnesotans are among at least 100 Americans who have joined ISIS from around the world. 15% coming from Minnesota. No one's quite sure when the 19-year-old woman left Minnesota for Syria. The family members have reported that they know, that they've told the FBI, but they've got no idea when or how she was recruited. Family's obviously distraught. Was reached out to the community for help, including a community activist called Abdi Bihi. Bihi says he believes that someone in their community is buying tickets for people wanting to join ISIS. He said someone in here is buying a ticket for these children that they can't afford. They don't know where Syria is. Someone's guiding them. And Bihi says the woman told her family that she's in Syria working as a nurse. Yeah, I'm going to go to Syria, work as a nurse, but actually fighting for ISIS. And everyone's freaked the hell out because of all the places in America where you think that ISIS, ISIL, whatever the hell you want to call it, of all the places in America where they could be actively recruiting, everyone's like, Minnesota? Minneapolis? How does that happen? I'll tell you how that happens. That's Minnesotans. ISIS is taking advantage of Minnesota nice. You ever been up there? People are incredibly friendly at all times. Very easy to take advantage of, I would imagine. Oh, you just put your feet up there. I'll make you a nice hamburger hot dish. What were the ingredients you needed for the Molotov cocktail? Oh,